All right, good afternoon. Thanks for joining us. I'm 5 News meteorologist Stephen Elmore. If you were with us for our noon show, you saw all those severe thunderstorm warnings really push on through across the river valley. Again, we were talking about how earlier on this morning, how we had that severe thunderstorm warning across Sequoia County, and then those storms kind of died out just a little bit, but then they moved into an environment across the state line that was ready for some storms heading into the afternoon. High dew point values, high temperatures, and since then, we've had severe thunderstorm warnings ever since. We still have one more to go here. I'm going to zoom out here just a bit across Boonville, Scott County, across Logan County, Scott County, and maybe Johnson County, southern portions of Johnson County going to see some of these storms as well. I'm going to pull up velocity because this is our main threat right now. Most of this wind threat has already pushed through, at least halfway through across Logan and Scott counties. But this bow right here is these 70-mile-an-hour wind gusts that are pushing across Logan and Scott counties heading into this afternoon. Johnson County may be seeing some of those strong wind gusts as well. Overall, though, our main threat for this is just going to be those strong wind gusts. When we pull up the hail, we are seeing some of those pockets of some quarter-size hail across Scott County, and this is just on the north side of Waldron. Seeing some of those, that dark blue spot. When we see those blue spots, we're starting to see the potential for some of that damaging hail. And then Mansfield, southeastern side of Mansfield, saw some really good hail come down for about 5-10 minutes or so. Since then, that's our only two spots of some hail across this line of thunderstorms moving across the river valley. Overall, we're almost in the clear yet. This really spiked up in intensity across Fort Smith. We already seen some of those damage reports over the past 30 minutes or so of some houses being damaged, some trees being damaged, power lines being down. They're cutting down the severe thunderstorm warning right now because the threat is starting to come to an end. This is not bowing as much anymore, producing those damaging wind gusts, but we still got a severe thunderstorm warning still left to go for Logan and Scott counties. This severe thunderstorm warning has now been trimmed outside of Johnson County. Yeah, so now we're just in Logan County currently across for this severe thunderstorm warning. I'm going to pull up that velocity one more time because, again, this is going to be our main threat. Boonville right now, this white, almost like light pink color right here, some really strong wind gusts coming through north side, northeast side of Boonville right now. That's going to be producing the strongest wind gusts, capable up to 70-mile-an-hour plus as we head further into Logan County. Now across Scott County, not seeing as strong of those wind gusts, especially south side of Scott County. Really just the northern end of Scott County is seeing those strongest wind gusts right now, and also those two hail cores that we showed you earlier. Pulling up sweeping radar, the lightning threat is coming down as well. This cluster of thunderstorms is really starting to come to an end here. Folks in Fort Smith, Greenwood, Mansfield, especially across LaFleur and Sequoia County, your threat for severe weather is over until we head into the overnight hours, and then we got some more storms to get to. But for right now, you're just seeing some of those scattered showers left to go. Really, we're just focusing on this one cell that's really survived all the way across Oklahoma, through OKC, south side of Tulsa, eastern Oklahoma, and then finally across the river valley. So a lot of energy there that's been used up today. That's actually going to play into our favor as we head into the overnight hours. Depending on how hot it gets today, what those dew point values are going to be like heading into the overnight hours, a lot of energy has been used up today. So that threat heading into the overnight hours between 1 a.m. and 5 a.m. may be a little bit less now across the river valley because we've had these severe thunderstorm warnings this afternoon versus waiting all day with sunshine and building that energy up and then getting into the overnight hours and seeing those thunderstorms start to push through. We're going to talk about that real quick before we go back to this severe thunderstorm warning and then wrap things up here. I'm going to talk about the overnight hours for tonight, especially across northwest Arkansas. We have the threat for some more severe weather. Again, heading between 1 a.m. Wednesday morning and 5 a.m. So we have that level 3 risk across Benton and Washington counties. This is going to be for wind gusts capable of producing 60 to 70 mile an hour wind gusts. We could see a hail threat heading into tonight as this storm moves out of Oklahoma. And then also when we have these level 3 risks, you can't rule out the brief possibility of having a quick isolated spot of rotation heading into the overnight hours. tornadic threat is not our main concern heading into tonight. Really, what we're going to be focusing on is more of those damaging winds now affecting a majority of northwest Arkansas. Earlier on today, they included the rest of the river valley into this level 2 risk. But like I'm saying, since we had these severe thunderstorm warnings today so far, really heading into the overnight hours, we would need to build a lot more energy through this afternoon to be able to produce more severe weather across the river valley heading into the overnight hours tonight. We have our Facebook live chat pulled up here. For those who have any questions, let's go back to, actually I'm going to show you Futurecast. Again, midnight tonight, you're still not seeing a lot of rainfall across northwest Arkansas. It's really not until 1:30 is when that system comes out of Oklahoma, comes out of Missouri, and into northwest Arkansas. It's all about how far, you see that all that orange and yellow on top of your screen, how far south this can reach. If we can get some of that action into northwest Arkansas, then we could see some of those thunderstorms really start to fire up, since we haven't had any severe weather yet today. As we head into early on Wednesday morning, that storm threat comes to an end anywhere between 5 and 6 a.m., and then that's when the heat comes back up. Again, we'll talk about that briefly before we look at that severe thunderstorm warning again. Again, it's really starting to die down now, so I'm kind of focusing on the excessive heat that we still have to go through the rest of this week. This is not just a stormy week. Here's a look at Thursday. Heat index values for Wednesday and Thursday well into the triple digits. We'll be talking more about the heat coming up on your 5 News at 4, 5, 6, and 10 this evening. One last look for the severe thunderstorm warning that's in Logan and Scott counties before we wrap things up here. All right, so that severe thunderstorm warning is going out until, I believe, 1:15-ish. We'll pull up velocity. And it's really starting to fall apart now, maybe seeing some isolated spots of some strong wind gusts. Let's see here, so just to the east of Boonville, you're seeing some of those strong wind gusts. South side of Paris, that wind has already pushed through. And Waldron, that wind of straight line winds has already pushed through as well. We're almost outside of our viewing area here. I'll pull up those hail cores one more time. And south side of Mansfield, just north of Waldron into Scott County, really saw some good hail cores. This dark blue here is probably anywhere between nickel and quarter size hail. That's some damaging hail. The rest of the river valley only saw these gray spots, which is anywhere between pea to penny size hail, so not considered damaging. Hail threats come to an end across Logan County. Pulling up velocity one more time, and then we'll go ahead and wrap things up here. This severe thunderstorm warning comes to an end in 19 minutes. So I don't believe they're going to extend this into our viewing area at least, and then we'll wrap things up here. So I'm going to take away the timing here. We'll pull up sweeping radar. Heavy rainfall right now across Logan and Scott counties. Some strong wind gusts starting to fade off now, kind of fading off that 70-mile-an-hour wind gust more towards that 60, right over the threshold for some severe thunderstorm warnings. Had some hail across Scott County. That has come to an end now, and just pea-size to penny-size hail as a potential throughout the rest of Logan and Scott counties. This goes out for another 20 minutes or so, and we'll be tracking if there's any further updates for this specific cell. Other than that, we're going to see some scattered showers across northwest Arkansas and the River Valley the rest of the day today. Eventually starting to see some sunshine come up. And then once we get into the overnight hours, again, you have to be aware of Wednesday morning across mainly northwest Arkansas, but also including the River Valley. Between 1 a.m. and 5 a.m., we have a great risk for some more severe weather in the way of some straight line damaging wind gusts and the potential for some hail. Chief Meteorologist Matt Standridge and Meteorologist Zach Scott are going to be teaming up to track those during the overnight hours for tonight. As for this severe weather right now, again, this is almost coming to an end, pushing through the rest of Logan and Scott counties right now. We'll give you updates if you need anything more throughout the rest of this afternoon. For the most part, though, this severe threat is coming to an end across the River Valley very shortly. As for now, keep it here, keep it local. As always, we'll keep you advised.